As part of Ferrari Fridays, William Ross from the Exotic Car Marketplace will be discussing all things Ferrari and interviewing people that live and breathe the Ferrari brand. Topics range from road cars to racing, drivers to owners, as well as auctions, private sales, and trends in the collector market.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ferrari Marketplace. I'm your host, William Ross. Appreciate you guys listening. And while you're at it, when you finish up with this episode, be sure you head on over to the Motoring Podcast Network and check out what else we have to offer. We got some really cool content over there from Mr. Jonathan Summers. We got Break Fix over there. We got a few others that are just really, really cool to listen. So hop on over to MPN, see what we got going on. Onward and upward. This episode, we're going to, I want to discuss, I want to talk about, is it prudent or would it behoove Ferrari to build a new model with a factory manual 6-speed or 7-speed? But would it be in their interest, you think, to actually build a new car, new model, with offering has a manual transmission? Now, I would say, wouldn't be, it'd be really cool. It's in the 296. But, not just say, hey, not a lower end model, not their mid range, whatnot. Would it be like one of the Icona series cars, possibly? I don't know. I mean, take a look what's kind of going on in the market now. For those of you that listen to the episodes, some episodes back, I talked about doing, people doing the swaps, mainly on 360s and 430s. But, people are starting getting doing the 599s. And I know there's rumored some are trying to do a 458 as well. That's getting really, really tricky because that is a whole system that's actually just dedicated, how that was built and made, is for a dual clutch or, transmission. Whereas, your 599, 575, 550s, the 550, I'm sorry, take that out of the equation. 550, all of those were factory manuals. But like say your 430s, your 360s, and down to your 355s, not so many of them. That actually, the transmission in that car from the factory is actually what they've used when you also got a manual. All they did was build this hydraulic system that, mimicked, I guess you could say, or would do, you do your shifting for you. So it's just doing a lot of these actuators and doing all the stuff that needs to be done and do it, very clunky, not the fastest, not slow, but nowhere near as fast as say, dual clutches or anything like that. But, so doing the swap actually isn't all that crazy or difficult, I guess you could say. It's just coming up with, the cables, everything like that, all the interior stuff, because you got to modify the console. You got to, obviously do the gear selector itself, the ball, all that stuff, the gate itself, all that jazz. The big trick is the computer teaching it, reteaching it, formatting it, programming it to understand that, hey, now there's a third pedal in there that's getting utilized, shifting and whatnot for your revs, all that jazz. So it's just reteaching it. So now, obviously, the big name of the game in that is EAG down in Texas. My understanding there was kind of some hubbubaloo going on and with ownership, whatnot, fighting, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I guess they must have gotten things sorted out because they seem to be just plugging away. But anyways, they're the big player in this game. They actually sell the kits as well, so you can just buy the kit yourself. It's like 40 G's and do it yourself. Pardon me. And have it done. I would recommend having a shop do it. Because doing the mechanical part, not that difficult, but obviously doing the computer part. But hey, you could swing it yourself. Why not? Vin Tran, or what's his name? Vin, he's got his episode. He was part of Who and Get a while back. I've probably seen him, putzed around on YouTube. He's got his own channel. But anyways, back to what I want to talk about. So out there in the market, you're starting to see some very high-end limited production hypercars come with, offered, retrofitted with the manual gearbox. Now, Koenigsegg came out with this really, really cool setup. And here's the thing: is when you watch it or you see how it is and do it, it's mimicking a manual is what it's actually doing. So it's not really so much it's a manual transmission per se with the clutch in that. It's mimicking it. So the computer's doing everything to give you that sensation, that feel like you are actually rolling the gears, going through it. So because you can actually put it into a fully automatic mode, or you can put it in where you got the flappy paddles. So you got three options. So is it technically a manual 6-speed? Yeah, I guess you could say yeah, but I mean it's all done computers and stuff like that. It's giving you that sensation to feel. The clutch pedal, it's giving you that sensation, everything like that. Where your pickup point is, the whole thing. It's really really cool. The whole system. I mean it is awesome. Christian Koenigsegg and his team over there, they have some of the most brilliant engineers on the planet right now. What they're doing. No offense against the guys over at Pagani and Mate Rimac and what they're doing, stuff like that, but I gotta say, the Koenigsegg guys got it going on. So, and I would love to be a fly in the wall or whatnot, see who, is these Christian ideas, is, some of his guys or whatnot. I don't know. But I gotta say, they have some awesome, awesome stuff going on over there. Koenigsegg's really cool. I really like that brand a lot. Love what they do. But anyways, Pagani. Pagani actually offers on their newest model, the Utopia, a full-fledged automatic, full-fledged manual gearbox, like full on. So you got a V12, twin turbo, V12 in that car, 800 some odd horsepower, everything like that, full-fledged. You can get it now. You can get the flappy paddle if you want, but here is the interesting thing, and this makes you wonder if this is something that is going to become more and more common. These more main players, or more established. I don't say established brands. Like the big names, Ferrari, Lamborghini, stuff like that. Porsche obviously still offers a manual on some of their models, but the take up on that from clients, from customers, was like 90 out of the 100. It was like 95% of the people took the manual option. They ordered the car with a manual gearbox. And from my understanding, one or two of the people, they wanted to have it, but just due to health reasons, something that their legs or somewhere they couldn't. Unfortunately, they just for medical reasons, due to their something with their body, legs, whatnot, they couldn't do it because they couldn't do the gear changes or whatnot. So they had to get the automated, the flappy pedal gearbox, as we all love to say. So makes you go, is that something that Ferrari should consider? So, in my opinion, yes, most definitely. I think they should. Now, see, here's what would suck. Because obviously, when you look at what it takes to create that, the engineering, the investment, the time, I mean, you'd have to totally design a whole manual gearbox, everything. And then you get into the fact is, your interior-wise, because you got the gear selector, third pedal, all this. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that in regards to offering that as an option in a car. So it's like, okay, what do you do? Do you do it along the Icona series where you're doing maybe, building a couple hundred cars? Or do you get it more mainstream and do it on a model where you offer it, but you'd have to all of a sudden really completely change up everything on this car. So it's like you'd have to design and build this car from the get-go that you were offering a manual. It's not like for, say, the 296, which, again, I'm going to say would be awesome with the manual gearbox. That would be unbelievable with the manual gearbox. But the thing was designed that way. It's designed from the get-go to have a flappy paddle gearbox, everything like that. How the whole thing's done up, the whole 9 yards. Your interior is designed, everything like that. I mean, everything's designed to have that set up in there. It's not designed to have this big stalk and ball sitting there between the passenger and driver's seat and everything, all that jazz. But it would look so fucking cool. Pardon my French. But anyways, so do they, the follow-up to the 296? Because think about it, because right now they're be in the stages of, okay, what's going to be coming after the 296? What are they going to build? Because, in product plan and everything like that, you have your, lifespan of a car, depending on the thing, anywhere from 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know how long they're going to have the 296 in the cycle, but, sometimes they have them very lengthy. Sometimes they have them short. Some they keep in the thing going for a long time. Now, take a look at the F12, which turned into the 812. I mean, basically almost the same identical car, just a few tweaks, whatnot. But, the basic premise is there. So are they going to come out? So call it the I don't know if you go 312, call it the 298, something, I don't know. But I just think it would be awesome for them to come out and offer a manual gearbox. Because a lot of people are going back to wanting that analog experience. Because let's be serious. Cars that are getting built today at that level, that price point, that performance, you're not going to use nowhere near all the things that car can do. You're not even going to, those wheels will never see a track. They might barely ever get over 100 miles an hour. I don't know. I mean, so why have a car that has all that performance, that capability? Oh, you can change gear in X amount of milliseconds. Oh, and this and that. It's going to shave 10 tenths off for this and blah, 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 blah. Who's going to do that? The 1% of them? A lot of those guys, they're buying the full-fledged race car that their factory sells and taking them on the track. So why does it matter to road car? You want to have that analog experience. You want to be part of it. That's why you go into the marketplace and you look and see what people are asking for factory manual Ferraris, be it not so much 360s, but 430s. If you guys jump on the FerrariMarketplace.com, check out the analytics we got going on. We have, from the past 4 or 5 years, we plugged in and put the data up to look at the sales and see where the trends are going on. Take a look at it and see. My man Eric put a lot of time and effort in that. Kudos to my man. He is awesome. But take a look at the numbers and the sales figures. It kind of gives you market forecasts and where it's been and everything like that. Kind of give you an idea. Check out the numbers on that and you'll see the price and demand for the factory manuals, especially the 430s, has gone to the roof. $599, forget about it. Worldwide, 30 built, 20 for the U.S. Now, I think they got a little greedy, and some people think it's $1 million car, but if you look at some of the most recent auction numbers, it is about $600,000-$700,000. So I know there was a dealer out there that they had one. He was sitting on it for a bit, and he was looking close to $900. Didn't happen. So I obviously got to throw something out there to see what happens, see if it sticks. He wants to know, but he sat in that car for a bit. Now you look at factory 430 manuals. There's a few that have been sitting out there for quite a while. I'm going to pick out a couple. There's a gentleman that's over on the East Coast. I'm not going to say his name, Ryan Friedman. He's had a few of these. Now, he's got a hell of an inventory. Ryan's a great guy. Super nice. But he's had a couple. Now, there's one he's had. It's blue, red interior. He bought it from a dealer out of Michigan. I can't remember the dealer's name because it's been a few months. It's been a while. That dealer had it at like $299, something like that. Car had 12,000 miles, something like that. I have to go back and check. Mileage was decent, anything crazy. Nice color combo, pretty sick. I love the red interior with the blue. It's a great combo on it. So Ryan, it wasn't for sale long in Detroit because he snagged it up, bought it for what I don't know, but then he turned around and threw it up on his site for $320. So he was trying to do a flip. He snagged that thing. He was hoping. Now, it was interesting on that car. He had put it up on Bring a Trailer. And I made a post on there in the question, in the comment section about the fact is, oh, well, hey, this is interesting that this car came from X in Detroit for this. It was for sale at this price. Ryan bought it and then put it up for this. Curious to see what goes on here. My post got removed for not being, what did they say? It's not contributing in a positive way or something. I don't know, something cheesy. So I redid it again and reposted it. Then it stayed up there. But it's like, really, come on. People with half a brain will know to do the research. All you got to do is pull the VIN up, type that into Google search, and it's going to come up to where this car is at and everything like that. So I mean, it ain't rocket science, people. You can't be hiding this stuff. So didn't sell on Bring a Trailer. I think it got up to 280, 270, something like that. I don't even know it got that high. I had to go back and check. Here, tell you what. You know what? I got the computer right in front of me. Let's go to Bring a Trailer. Let's pull up 430s. Come on, computer. Come on, computer. F430 Ferrari F430. Let's see what we got going on real quick. Let's see here. Now let's look at where's our auction results. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to remember how long ago it was. And give me a moment. Bear with me. It was a few months ago. All right, we're back to. I don't think it was that long ago, was it? Is it even on here? I don't know. Do they do? No, they have the ones that are unsold. No, see, we're getting back into beginning of the year. No, where'd it go? Where'd you go, Mr. Blue Car? Mr. Blue? It wasn't there. Wasn't there? No, no. We'll get into Scuds too, because that's another. And it's interesting to see when you get to like conversions too and see what the price is on that. So, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? It wasn't Ryan's car. I apologize. It was actually the yellow one. So, I was talking about that yellow one. There was, and I don't see it on here. Where the hell did it go? I don't know. Anyways, I ain't gonna dig going through it. So, anyways, Ryan's car. We're going back for it. So, and he's been still sitting on it, looking at his inventory, and he's got a couple other ones. There seem to be getting a little more realistic, but there's a black on black one, which I love to have. That he's got reasonably priced at 280, something like that, and it's got. I'm trying to remember the mileage on it. Let me see here. Let's see here. Let's go on. Let's see if he still has it. Let's just check it out and see. Since we're talking about it, let's just go onto his website and say, "What you got there, Mr. Friedman? What you looking at? Inventory, current inventory. Let's go to your Ferraris. Let's see what we got. Maybe he sold it. I don't know, but he's got a black on black one. I just love to get my hands on. Here, let's just do the search. We want Ferrari. It's got 11. There we go. All right. Got a 355. There's an F1 tranny. Challenge Stradale. See, he still has the blue one. That one has 12,484 miles. He's got it at 289.9. So he's dropped it down. So I wonder how much he got it for from the Detroit guy. Then there's a 360. And then here is the 250. Oh, he's dropped the price. But it's got a little over 26,000 miles on it. Black on black. I'd love to have that car. So it's getting down there. So people got to, I want to say, greedy in regards to pricing and what have you. But like I said, go on the FerrariMarketplace.com, check out the market trends, and you'll see. So they didn't sell. And I know there was a couple out there, people thinking, oh, I'm going to get $500,000. Not happening, people. Market's going to tell you what something's worth. So these guys are sitting on these cars because they're getting a little out of hand. Now, the interesting thing is 360s, you get yourself, you're still in the mid-100 range, 140 to 170, depending on mileage, whatnot, what have you, and get it. So those are still very decent. Now, I'm going to do the next follow-up to this is going to be, I'm going to compare the 360 to 430 because even though you look extremely similar, there's some huge difference between them. But anyways, so you can still do well with the 360 in regards to getting a factory manual 6-speed. So here's the thing, again, going what the price-wise is on that. So a 360, you can pick one up for 80 grand. It's got some, maybe 20, 30,000 miles on it. Needs a service, everything like that. So if you're going to go in there and do a manual swap, you might as well, do your belts and everything like that as well. So, but say you got 40 grand for the kit, put it in there. I mean, you could still beat the price. So you might as well just spend a few extra dollars to get yourself factory manual. Just the numbers don't make sense. So anyways, should Ferrari build another one? Factory with a new car? Yes, they should. It's my opinion that I think they would sell like hotcakes. So again, it kind of sucks is it going to be an Icona series where it's a limited edition and you got to be on the list, you got to be the in, you've had to had yourself 500 Ferraris before, you got to own yourself, the new F80, you got to own a lot of Ferrari and Enzo, you got to, some of these stipulations, well, if you buy yourself an SF90, we'll sell you this, kind of that deal so they can move them because no one's buying SF90s. So where do they drop it? You would hope they would drop it so it would be a production car that, even a production car, they're only building a few thousand a year of them. So it's not like you're building tens of thousands of them. So it's still technically a limited car. It would sell like crazy. Could you imagine what the resale, the flip market would be? Oh my Lord, people would be making bank on those cars. But I just think it would be so cool for them to go back, go their roots, man. Build a factory manual. It'd be awesome to see the 296. Obviously twin 36, but it wouldn't be that much of an engineering exercise to do it. And I guarantee you'd be leading the way in the marketplace. You want to talk about Lamborghini jumping on board. They do that in a heartbeat. And you talk about, their V12 is just glorious sounding with the manual, everything. Oh, put a Gattani exhaust on there. Lord have mercy. You'll be singing to the gods with that, my son. So, yes, they should do it. Again, now what do they put it in? Then here's the question. Do you drop it into a V12? Because here's the other problem you have. You got all these emission standards. You have all this stuff. So it's like, maybe you make it a track-only car. Well, that would suck. You could go into the fact is you make it barely a track-only car, but you put all the stuff in there to turn it into a road legal car. You just have someone on the outside do it. So basically you have all the wiring for all your stuff, that you need to transform it back into a road legal car. There's those entities that will do that. There's what you would call them. They do that with the McLaren F1s. They've done some very, racy cars with those and made them street legal. And so it's not out of the realm. So it would be cool for them to do. So there's a way to flirt with everything and kind of get these things back to where it would need to be a road legal car. Excuse me. So I don't think it'd be all that difficult. But again, you would almost have to go the route of having a twin turbo model, be it a V8 or a V6. Now, yeah, you could do the V12. Yeah, that's true. So, but again, for the emissions and all the stuff they got to meet, all the stringent requirements, all that jazz, you got to do this to the motor. So you couldn't have an NA V12, V8, or V6 or anything like that. It's going to be twin turbocharged and do it. But I mean, you can still make it sound good. So, you have all that to deal with. But I still think it would be so worth it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ferrari, you would sell them out in a heartbeat. You want to talk about just getting back to the core. You want to talk about not only taking care of your loyal supporters, followers, and clients, customers. Man, you'd probably gain a crap load more. You'd get a lot of people over from the dark side of the raging bull and get them over to the prancing horse because you went back to, hey, let's do something like that. Let's go back to building something that the clients would just absolutely go nuts for. I mean, that would just, and could you imagine with what you have at your arsenal, what you have that you could get into in regards to putting this together? It would be awesome what you could do with this car. And get rid of all, you don't need to have, you don't need the screen in there. You don't need to have GPS. You need all that garbage. Scrap that. Go back analog. Yeah, you still have all your computer stuff you need to really enhance it and all that jazz, but get rid of all that crap. No one gives a shit about it. No one wants it. And a lot of the times it runs like crap. Just go back to make a nice base. Balls out fun, just analog Ferrari that you can just go out and enjoy. You got your three things in front of you. You got your speedo, you got your RPM gauge, and a fuel gauge. So you know if you're going to run out of gas or not. If you want to put a couple other ones in there, fine, so be it. Put a couple of your smaller ones for your voltage and all that crap. But just get your two big dials in front of you. Have your basic, you don't even need a radio. But, people are going to want that. So put in a decent radio, your aircon, that kind of stuff. But forget having that big frickin' screen and touch buttons and all that junk. Just have it nice and basic. Have it on you know what you got on your steering wheel? A horn button. That's it. That's all you need. Horn. That's all you need. You don't need the magneto and do all that crap to go and raise, blah, 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 all that stuff. No. All you need is your three pedals, your steering wheel, your couple of circle gauges, and that big metal stick sticking up out between your, right next to your right hand. Nice ball in there. Bam, 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 going through the gates. You want to talk about selling those, like, you could probably build 100,000 of them. You'd sell them in a heartbeat at $250,000 a piece. Cost you $100,000 to build them or whatever. You make a bank. I mean, it's just an exercise in engineering and construction I think Ferrari needs to go back to. I think it would just be phenomenal. It'd be so cool to see that happen, just to go back to just doing something like that. It would just be so cool to see. I mean, again, obviously you got to have your safety features. You got to have your airbags. You got to have other stuff, So, but just whatever the bare minimum is to pass all the regulations that you need. Because let's face it, you're basically building to pass the regulations of the United States, because the United States sucks in regards to what regulations you got to meet. Because you meet the U.S. regulations, that thing's going to pass everywhere else. Just plain and simple. So, bare minimum, meet what you got to meet. Put in a 6-speed manual. Yes, you could do a 7, but it just looks too funky having that extra thing over there. All you need is a 6-speed. You're fine and good with that. Like I said, that is more than enough for 99.9% of the people that are going to buy it and drive it. They're going to talk about going to the tail of the dragon, going to those places with that, just hearing that thing sing. Oh, my God, that'd be so fun. I mean, it'd just be unbelievable what you could do with that car. Oh, man, that'd be fantastic. So, tell me your thoughts. Message. Shoot me an email. William at FerrariMarketplace.com. Shoot me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are. Put some comments down in the comments below. Share this around. Tell me what you think. I did a poll on LinkedIn a while back, and yes, basically 99% of the people said yes. Of course, you had these youngsters, flap your pedals, ready to go, because they don't know how to drive stick. That's the problem. They didn't learn. I learned. My first car was a stick when I drove on the road. Of course, I learned how to drive a lot younger than that. Started riding motorcycles when I was 5, 4. So, and I guarantee a lot of these listeners, majority of your listeners, your first car was a manual. You probably have a manual car in your garage right now. So, it's interesting to see. So, comment on this. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. We should have a roundtable discussion on this. I think it'd be really cool, Mr. Eric. I think we should maybe set this up on Break Fix and have a little roundtable discussion. I think that'd be fun. So anyways, guys, that's about all I have on this episode today. Let me know your thoughts on this. Again, I appreciate you listening. Get on over to the Motoring Podcast Network. Check out what else we got going on the MPN. There's a lot of cool stuff you guys can listen to, so don't miss out on that. So, till next time, guys, appreciate it. Have a good one.
This episode has been brought to you by Grand Touring Motorsports as part of our Motoring Podcast Network. For more episodes like this, tune in each week for more exciting and educational content from organizations like the Exotic Car Marketplace, the Motoring Historian, Break Fix, and many others. If you'd like to support Grand Touring Motorsports and the Motoring Podcast Network, sign up for one of our many sponsorship tiers at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. Please note that the content, opinions, and materials presented and expressed in this episode are those of its creator, and this episode has been published with their consent. If you have any inquiries about this program, please contact the creators of this episode via email or social media as mentioned in the episode.